salary board meeting to order. We have a roll call, please.
Commissioner Eagle.
Present.
Commissioner Hertzler.
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger. Controller Whitcomb.
Here.
Thank you. Is there any public comment regarding salary board issues? There are issues not on the salary board. Hearing none, we have approval of the minutes of August 15th. Are there any questions or comments on those minutes?
I'll make a motion to approve those minutes.
Thank you. Do we have a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Next is approval of salary board actions. Is there a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve those actions.
Is there a second? We have a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Is there any other business to be brought in front of the board? Okay, hearing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
For adjournment. Thank you. Can we stand for the pledge of allegiance? Pledge of allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And can we have a roll call, please?
Commissioner Eagle.
Present.
Commissioner Hertzler.
Here.
Commissioner Eichelberger.
Thank you. Is there any public comment? Okay, hearing none. Next on the agenda, we have 3 employee recognitions. I'll go in order here. Kim. Thank you. Kim has been a district technician with the Conservation District for 20 years. Date of hire 8/1996. Kimberly, on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, would like to give you your longevity award. And Carl, do you have anything you'd like to say?
Yeah, I'll just say that Kim's definitely a dedicated employee. Been here 20 years. For some reason, she said she wouldn't be here for another 20. But Kim's a conservation coordinator, and what that entails is she does inspections on earth-moving activities here in the county, anything over an acre or more. And she also reviews the plans that come in, blueprints. So even though it's a man-dominated industry, she's not intimidated by that, and she's not afraid to tell them when they need to do things properly. So she's a very, very good employee.
Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay, next we have Amy Martin from the District Attorney's Office. Amy, nice to meet you. Thank you. Okay, Amy, also hired in 1996, has been a legal secretary for the DA's office. Amy, thank you for your service on behalf of the Board of Commissioners. Jamie, do you have anything you'd like to?
I do. 96, Bill Clinton was the president. The Macarena was the national dance. Prince Charles and Diana split up. There was mad cow disease. There's fighting in Israel. There's fighting in Northern Ireland. And Amy Martin joined on August 21st, 1996, the dysfunctional family known as the District Attorney's Office. She came to us after being sent away from the cloister convent. She broke her vow of silence. And we knew that it was right for, she was right for us, quite honestly. Honestly, what she does is, over that period of time, she's lasted 120 trial terms, over 6,000 subpoenas. One of the most notable cases that she worked on was the Markman Hausman murder trial. And for those of you who don't know, that was a case that was involved a lot of work, not just for one person, but Amy coordinated. It was not only in Pennsylvania, but in Virginia as well. There were 124 subpoenas in that case. It was a murder case involving the death penalty. that she worked with Skip Ebert, which is an accomplishment in itself. It's very detail-oriented, in case you didn't know. So Amy, honestly, as a colleague and a friend, it's a pleasure working with you, and you are a self-motivator. You are someone who works very hard for our office, and quite honestly, you're one of the reasons why it's fun to work with you in this office. So thank you for No rapid years, please.
Seriously?
I know. Shut your face.
It's good, it's good.
What are you doing?
It's fine.
Thank you.
See why we love each other?
Thank you. And next we have Troy Russell. Public Safety.
You want to dance?
No,
Thanks for the service.
Troy has been employed with us full-time for 30 years. He was hired hired part-time in 1984, became a full-time dispatcher in 1986, was promoted several times, became a shift supervisor in 2005, and became public safety coordinator in 2015. So on behalf of the Board of Commissioners, Troy would like to present you with your 30-year years of service, and thank you very much. Robert, any words?
Well, I certainly didn't do as much research as Jamie, but I can tell you the gasoline was 89 cents. Certainly 30 years, quite the changes over the years. That was also the initial year for the initial public offering for Microsoft and Internet Protocol for email, what became email. So Troy started really doing a lot of our extra items for the street addressing. I can remember him on endless shifts typing by hand strips for all our addresses throughout the county on typewriter, and then you break the strip off and put it in the index cards. But a lot of changes. He's been instrumental with our computer-aided dispatch initial back in 2003, and now again with the new system, programming, all that. So Troy, thanks for all your help, and hopefully we can get the new kid up and running.
Yeah.
Troy didn't want his picture taken. We're going to take like 8. Okay, thank you.
Thank you. Indira.
You guys all have purple. You didn't get the memo. You didn't get the memo.
Okay, next we have on the agenda approval of meeting minutes of August 11th, the 15th, and the 25th. Any questions or comments on any of these minutes?
Mr. Chairman, I'll make a motion to approve the minutes of August 11, August 15, and August 25.
Thank you. Do we have a second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of public safety review team meeting minutes of July 27th. Any questions or comments on those meetings, on those minutes? Is there a motion for approval? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of personnel transactions. Is there a motion? You have a second?
Oh, I'm sorry, second.
It's okay. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of the appliance policy. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a bid award contract to the redevelopment authority for the emergency solution grant. Excuse me, is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have approval of I-81 exits 48 and 49 interchange development. Is there a motion?
Also for approval.
Second.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of the HRG proposal to conduct a muscle survey and relocation as part of the Wolf Bridge project. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Yes.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries.
See what happens when you're gone, Larry?
I just want to know, is that regardless of the nation of origin or religious persuasion?
It's fully vetted. Okay, next is approval of revisions to the county's community development block program. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval of operating agreement of Real Estate Collaborative LLC. Is there a motion for approval? A motion, is there a second?
Second.
All in favor?
On the motion, Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
I know that we have Tim Whalen
Yes.
here, who's the new director of the Redevelopment Housing Authority, and I had a chance to talk with Tim. He doesn't feel that there's any problem with moving forward with this in advance of the final development of the memorandum of agreement between the Economic Development Corporation. I also will note that there has been a change in the operating agreement that includes representation from the Housing Redevelopment Authority. The other thing I want to point out is, because I would like this on the record, approving this entity is going to have the ability to actually purchase real estate and become a real estate developer. Again, this is not intended to be in competition with other realtors or real estate developers. These are properties that, for whatever reason, nobody is marketing, nobody's taking advantage. But I do think it's important to point out that this new entity that's being created and whatever its dealings are will not present any financial liability to the county and or to KDIC, and I would like to ask our solicitor, is that statement true?
That is true.
So there's no encumbrances or anything that this new company could take on that essentially would fall back and be responsible to either the county or the Cumberland Area Economic Development Corporation.
That's my understanding.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Jim. Tim, thank you for coming today. Would you like to make any comment or say?
Well, first off, pleasure to be here. Thank you for the opportunity. We do see the development of the coalition as a good, useful tool for Cumberland County to help in development of properties, both new properties as well as properties needing redevelopment. So we believe there's going to be a good partnership between the redevelopment authorities and KDIC for being able to advance the interests of the county.
Okay, very good. Jonathan, anything?
I have nothing.
All right.
I will say, Kate and I were just sitting here joking, just to lighten the room a little bit.
About the moment.
So, when the guy was telling me his 30 years, and he was reflecting on things that were happening, so I said to Kate, I said, well, I was 3 at the time, and Kate said, well, I was 3 months at the time. We just wanted to add that to the list of things that happened during the gentleman's 30 years.
You know how much older, that makes me feel.
I hate young people. Can't stand them.
So that's all I have to add.
Thank you, Jonathan. All right, we have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you.
I would just like to point out that you're on the sports doc, so.
That's right.
We landed it too.
Yeah.
The 1968 Democratic Convention.
Very good.
You also missed the actual origination of all the great music that has ever occurred in my lifetime.
Obviously not a jazz fan. I think the 50s. We were around then too.
All right. Moving on to contracts and grants, item 14I, A through D. 2 items, A through D.
You're calling for action on 14,
14-1.
1 and 2?
Yes.
Okay.
So it's everything. It's
It's everything.
Both categories. Both categories.
Okay, I'm
So if
fine.
you-
I'll make-
okay with that, Mr. Solicitor? Yes, okay,
I'll
thank you.
make that motion.
Okay, we have a motion for a second.
I'll second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Thank you. Next is approval of project request. Sheriff Office has 2 items. Security system project, total project cost $125,000. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Your second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is an AOPC equipment purchase. Project cost $21,500. Is there a motion? Second.
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, from the prison, the vehicle purchase, total cost $16,906. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, from the CNRC Tower Building, P-PAC replacements, total project cost $56,294.75. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second? Second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have approval to authorize advertising for provision of a comprehensive food service operation at the Cumberland County Prison. Is there a motion? So. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next is approval to authorize advertising and approval capital project request, total cost $110,000. This is for removal of existing sound system and purchase and installation of a new audiovisual system for courtroom 5.
So moved.
Second. We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye. Aye. Motion carries. Next is a bid award approval to award the contract to Castle Branch for pre-employment screening in the amount of $48.20 per employee. Move for approval. Is there a second?
Second.
We have a motion and a second. All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have a request to recommend Nate Wardle for appointment to the Cumberland County Local Emergency Planning Committee. We just got the information today, I believe. Jim, you have a couple comments?
They're at the July 14th meeting of the Local Emergency Planning Committee, there was a recommendation to appoint, for us to recommend the appointment of Nate for appointment to the LAPC. The communication from the public safety folks to us got apparently lost in the mail, so that's why there's been a little delay. But my understanding is we currently have 19 members of the LAPC. Megan Silverstrom will continue to serve as the public information officer. She's also a member of the LAPC. Nate has a background in broadcast journalism, and they feel that his addition would be a good addition.
Mhm.
So I'd like to make a motion to appoint Nate Wardle, recommend to the Pennsylvania Emergency Management Agency for appointment. The name of Nate Wardle, 8 West Schoolside Drive, Mechanicsburg, 17055. For a term commencing and ending on December 31st, 2020.
Okay, thank you, Jim. Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Next, we have approval general disbursement transfer authorizations, items 28 through G. Is there a motion? Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor of the motion, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. I'd like to report that there is an executive session August 25th and August 29th for personnel issues. Is there any other business to be brought in front of the board? Hearing none, is there a motion for adjournment?
So moved.
We're adjourned.